Today, you're connected more than ever. Your friends, your family, your life. Having a partner that understands banking is what you do on your time, anywhere you like. It's about being connected. Renaissance Bank, understanding you.
Sponsored by Renaissance Bank.
Good morning, Northeast Mississippi. This is Newsbreak for Tuesday, November 8th. I'm Brad Locke. Thanks for joining us. You can find Newsbreak every weekday at 7 a.m. You can watch it at djournal.com, our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, or our mobile apps for Apple and Android devices, giving you quick updates here on news, sports, and weather in Northeast Mississippi. Let's start with the Weather Underground forecast for today. We're going to have some overcast skies with a high of 72 degrees, low of 51, and a 20% chance of rain. The 3-day outlook: Wednesday, partly cloudy skies, high of 69, low of 40, 10% chance of rain. And on Thursday, clear skies, high of 70, low of 44, 10% chance of rain. Friday, partly cloudy skies with a high of 72, low of 45, and a 0% chance of rain. Let's take a look now at some of the top headlines from your Daily Journal and djournal.com on this Tuesday. Hey, don't forget to vote today. People will head to the polls across the country to cast their ballots in today's presidential election between Democrat Hillary Clinton, Republican Donald Trump, and a multitude of third-party candidates. Northeast Mississippi voters also will weigh in on a few local elections. The biggest of those include a congressional seat and a spot on the Mississippi Supreme Court. Some counties also have school board races, among other contests. Now, this is the first presidential election in which Mississippi voters will be required to show a driver's license or government-issued photo ID to be able to vote. The new requirement was put in place for the 2015 election for governor and other statewide offices. Now, people who forget their ID are allowed to vote via affidavit ballot, but their vote only will be counted if they return to the circuit clerk's office within 5 days to show identification. Polls will be open today from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. After nearly 3 years of work, the Lee County School District has completed its school bond construction projects. The district held its final building dedication on Monday morning at Guntown Middle School and marked the last project that resulted from the $13.5 million bond issue the district passed in 2013. The building at Guntown cost $2 million and covers 10,900 square feet. It is home to 10 classrooms and the school's administrative offices. Although students and staff have been using the building for several months, Monday marked the ceremonial ribbon cutting. Attendees included members of the Lee County School Board, Guntown Alderman, Guntown Mayor Gary Herring, and Mississippi Senator and Guntown native Chad McMahon. Lee County Superintendent Jimmy Weeks said the former classroom building at Guntown was in an extreme state of disrepair, and that made the project a priority. The old building had many rotted floor joists as well as black and white mold. He said contractors were able to create a new building almost identical to the original on the exterior, and they incorporated some salvage pieces from the original building. They want to give input on how Mississippi funds its public schools? There's a new email address for you. Mississippians can now send ideas regarding school funding to schoolfinance@ls.ms.gov. State leaders are currently thinking about changing the current formula known as the Mississippi Adequate Education Program. They have hired New Jersey-based EdBuild to recommend possible changes. In announcing the email address, Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves and House Speaker Philip Gunn said there will be hearings held throughout the state to allow the public to have input on the process. Those meetings will be announced at a later date. The legislative leaders said their goal is to take up the complex issue in the 2017 session, but State Senator Hob Bryan, who opposes changing the formula, said there's little time to recommend changes and hold public hearings before January. And in sports, with starting quarterback Chad Kelly lost for the season, Ole Miss head coach Hugh Freeze is keeping all his options on the table. Kelly suffered a torn ACL and torn meniscus in Saturday's win over Georgia Southern, and now Freeze is faced with the question of who will fill those big shoes when the Rebels meet Texas A&M this week. Redshirt freshman Jason Pellerin has gotten a fair amount of playing time this year as Kelly's backup, but Freeze might also consider taking the redshirt off freshman Shea Patterson, who is the #1 ranked quarterback in the 2016 recruiting class. Pellerin, who has been used mainly as a running option, will get most of the first-team reps this week in practice. And Freeze said while he isn't ruling out playing Patterson, he doesn't want to let emotion play into his decision. Other candidates to line up behind center include wide receiver Markel Pack, tight end Evan Ingram, and offensive tackle Jeremy Liggins. All three played some QB in high school, and Liggins has taken snaps during his Ole Miss career. And that's it for Newsbreak for this Tuesday. We do want to remind you of the Memo podcast that we produce here at the Daily Journal 3 days a week, every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all things Northeast Mississippi news and entertainment with myself and W. Derek Russell. We had a new episode drop Monday afternoon. Find it in iTunes, any of your podcast apps, or at memo.djournal.com. We spoke with Bobby Harrison about the tax policy discussion going on down in Jackson. Also spoke with Emma Kent about attendance numbers, and Jenna Parsons filled us in on how this current drought is affecting some home foundations. Also, you can check out Capitol View with myself and Bobby Harrison every Monday at 2 p.m. We had a new episode yesterday in which we talked about today's election and also the tax policy discussion down there in Jackson. You can watch that again every Monday about 2 o'clock at djournal.com. All the stories I talked about here today you can read in your daily journal and at djournal.com. Follow us on Twitter at djournalnow and give our Facebook page a like as well. And that's it for today's news break. I'm Brad Locke. We'll see you next time.